Hello everybody, CW here. We got a little bit of a project. This is my buddy's kid's 243 from when he was young. And it's pretty typical H&R, nothing fancy. It's a little bit, it's made right at the end before they went out of business. So it's a later model. It's a standard 243, standard barrel. Nothing fancy, nothing special. Just a regular old H&R. Now these can be really good shooters, and they can be really trashy shooters. This one, he says, doesn't shoot. I don't know exactly what that means, doesn't shoot. I'm sure it goes off. I mean, I've tested that, but I'm thinking he doesn't like the accuracy. So I'm going to start out by scoping the barrel, just see what it looks like inside, see what it's been through, see if I can decipher anything or see anything right off the bat. Now, looking at the barrel from the inside can be really problematic. It's been said, and it's true, a guy with a bore scope can create more problems than actually exist. So, we're not going to jump off the deep end and, claim victory here just by looking down the barrel. But it will give us hints. It can tell us some things. So let's do that right now. Give it a quick look and see what we see. I think just for the sake of time, I'm going to put you in speedy mode unless we find something, and then I'll come back into regular mode and we'll look at it closer and talk about it. So let me get everything set up and we'll get started. Stand by. All right, we're going to do this a little bit screwy. I'm going to video a video. So you're going to watch the camera just like I do to see what I see going in. Here we're going in the chamber. There's the shoulder, there's the neck, and there's the lead. Let's spin around here in the lead. I can actually give you a better view. I'll zoom in on the zoom in. Hopefully it'll focus for you. Just your view just a little bit. Hold on tight. Hopefully this will be focused for you. Let's just look around. This is the lead or the throat, the beginning of the rifling in the chamber. Just do a quick view and then I'll put you in speedy mode here if nothing comes up obvious. Here comes the cord in front of your view, sorry. And that should be all the way around. So there's some evidence of some high heat shooting. There's some funny marks on the top of the lands there. But you can see there's some cracking. Sorry for the cord. Let me get that out of the way. All that's evidence of shooting it when it's really hot, shooting it a lot. So this has seen some rounds. It's not shot out, but you see all that cracking? Heat destroys, and that's all from heat. So this has actually been shot quite a lot. So we may be able to do something here just with a good cleaning. So let's go down the barrel. Nothing specific, I'm just going down the barrel. Just going down the barrel. We're going to go down and check the muzzle, check the crown from the inside. We are about halfway down. We'll just go all the way around here and see if anything pops up for us. I don't see anything out of the ordinary. There's still some pretty good checking and cracking going on, which is odd that far down the barrel. We'll go, let's see, we're about 3/4 of the way down the barrel now. And you can see things are starting to get more polished. The only marks are in the grooves, and that's not cracks. Those are machining marks when it was rifled. The tops of the lands are nice and shiny. See, that's the top of one right there in the middle. And there's a groove, and there's a groove. So you're going to find stuff like this. This is from, that's a pit. not necessarily from rust. It's probably from a piece of junk that was in there when they bored it. It just gouged out the barrel. There's another one. These are all kinds of imperfections you don't find in high-end barrels and you find in this kind of stuff. All right, there's some roughness there, right along the edge of that landing groove. There's some debris down in the groove. We're getting out towards the muzzle. Let me zoom you out just a little bit. 5 power. We're getting out towards the muzzle. Same stuff, all typical. You know, it's clean but not scrubbed clean. A little bit of carbon in there. I don't see a lot of copper, so that's a good thing. There's not a lot of copper. I may have to pull this back. We're getting the end of our cord. We should be getting near the muzzle. There we go. There's the muzzle. Now let's see if I can lock this here and just spin this around for us, see what we see. All right, look at the outer edges around here. This is the outer edge of the barrel with the front facing camera. This is the reflection showing us the actual edge. So this is the reflector, the circle. This is the end of the camera looking just forward. So you can see there's quite a bit of debris and hairs hung up on there, indicating that there's some roughness right there. See that big hair? See that big hair right there? Indicating there's some roughness there. There's a big hunk of something in the mirror. So it's not clean. So let's scrub this barrel. I'm not going to show you that. I'm just going to do it. You know how to scrub a barrel. It looks like it's on a couple sides. So that's on one side. You can see there's a light. See the light in the mirror? And I go over here, and there's some more, and there's a light. So we've gone all the way around. All right, let's get out of this. Let me clean this barrel really quick, and I'll come back. Stand by. Okay, I gave it I don't know, dozen or so swipes with a bronze brush with a little bit of Butch's boar shine, and then patches. And here is our first patch, second, third, fourth, all the way down. And I didn't put more solvent on. This is just wiping out what was brushed, and then dryer, dryer, dryer. So let's run the scope through again and see what we find. All right, I had to finagle your angle because of the glare. But let's go in the chamber. And here we are at the lead again. All the way around. Not a whole lot different. Go up a little bit. And we're a little bit cleaner. We're a little bit cleaner. All right, let's just go down the barrel. Sorry for the cord there. About halfway down. Still some carbon. Again, I only stroked it, I don't know, 10, 12 times. So I didn't give it a really, really, really good scrubbing. I'm going to do it again with JB, I think. And just watch out here. You can see the overall look of the barrel. And there's a little bit of copper right there. Didn't see that before. But I expect to find some copper. I mean, it's not necessarily bad, but that's a rough spot because it's just that spot. There's a little bit of copper. Butch's is not aggressive on copper. But you know why? You know why we see copper? Because we cleaned the carbon off. I answered my own question here. Yeah, lots of copper now. See it? Lots of copper now. And that's what I expected to see. Yeah, we cleaned the carbon off. And it revealed the copper underneath. So there's one of those imperfections that we saw previously. There's another one there. Pretty big one. But it's not really going to hurt anything. It's going to catch debris and make the barrel foul faster, but probably not going to affect accuracy. And here we are at the muzzle. All right, now notice on the side, not looking at the mirror, that it's a lot cleaner. A lot less debris there. There's a little bit right there. But it's a lot cleaner. So I'm going to recrown this because it attracted a lot of fuzz. And the fuzz could come from gook and grease, but it could also come from burrs. So the crown should be sharp, but burr free. So I'm going to recrown this, and I'm also going to scrub it some more. So let me do both of those things. And let me first show you the crown up close from the outside, and then I'll come back. Stand by. Okay, let's see if this power is going to be okay. Maybe I can give it a little bit more to get a closer look without, well, we're going into digital. We don't want to go into digital. See if we can get that to, here we go. All right, so there's what we're dealing with the muzzle. And it's got a recessed crown, a recessed muzzle, which is standard for the gun. And it looks like that's all they did. So I'm gonna get in there and get that a little bit better. I can see there's a burr right there. I can feel it. Feel that? Hear that, brother? Right there? Tick, 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 tick. That's a burr. So let me polish this. You've seen me do it. It's in my videos. Let me do this real quick and come back. Stand by. We'll look real quick. All right, he's playing games again. But there we go. There's just a quick trip with the brass ball. Now we got that whole entire crown recut and chamfered. So now there's no more burrs. All right, now let's clean it really good with JB bore paste and scope it again. Stand by. Okay, the bore is really, really smooth now. It wasn't that much work. I don't know, a couple of 20 passes maybe. Again, I'm using, my labels wore off, but it's JB bore paste. And an old brush that fits the bore, wrapped with patches, saturated with Croil. And then I'm cleaning it out with a couple more patches of Croil, and I'll follow that up. Wow, is it smooth. And I'll follow that up with a couple of dry, and then a couple of solvent. And then once I'm sure I've got most of the grit out, I will come back with another brush, followed by a couple of dry, and then we will scope it again. So let me go back to speedy mode here. Here's a dry one. Really, really smooth. Go back to speedy mode and finish up. A little bit of a different view for you. Hopefully I can make this work because I didn't test it. Move the barrel around a little bit. Okay, we're in the barrel. Wow, we can even see our lights. The multiple dots you see there are the lights that are in the end of the wand. Couldn't even see that before. Okay, we are into the barrel. So here's the lead. There's the carbon ring, which is right at the end of the chamber. Still there, we didn't get that out, but we've lessened it. But the lead looks much better. Look at it. I mean, all those cracks that were there don't seem to be nearly as bad. It seems to be a really clean barrel. Now look around the outside edges like I told you before. You know, look out here and you can see the actual end of the camera. So you're looking at the whole barrel, and then in the reflector in the middle you get like specialized or focused, I should say. All right, this doesn't exactly fit the bore. I don't have a 243 lens. This is a 22. I have a 22 and a 25. But much better. Look at this. I mean, that JB bore is just, that's the way to clean a barrel. A little bit of pitting there. That's all. Let me turn down the light. It's actually too much now. Funny how before I had to use all the bright light because all the carbon was in there soaking up all the light. And now we're actually getting reflections and having it hard to see. The copper's all gone so far. There's a little bit of color there, but I don't see copper. But I can see color in the barrel. Yeah, there's a little bit of copper still there. See it? Just little traces. A little bit more and we get it all. I don't need to get it all. Copper's not necessarily bad. It's filling in all the imperfections in the barrel, and it's not necessarily bad. I'm not going to shoot copper out of this thing, and they say you got to get it all out if you're going to shoot copper bullets. This thing's not going to see copper bullets. This is a cheap firearm. This is going to see regular cup and core bullets. Let me get it a little closer because our cord is too short. We should be coming out near the muzzle. Let's go all the way around. Nice, nice, nice. Really, really clean. All the carbon is gone. Here we are at the muzzle. You can see my edge. The chamfer I put on. Let me try turning the light back up. There's no light. You see with no light? That's just coming in from the outside. Not really, huh? That's just barrel coming in from the room. I mean, light coming in from the room. So let me turn the brightest light on. And now you can see my chamfer that I put on that crown and how it's perfect. Absolutely no burrs, no snags, no nothing. So there's our light, so we can tell we go all the way around. And there's our light. So there's all the way around. It's kind of hard to tell. You don't realize you've gone all the way around, but we have. All right, there we go. So we got this barrel clean. A little bit of copper. Like I said, you can see color in there. But we didn't do this to get rid of the copper. We did this to make sure we have a pretty clean barrel to start with. So we do. So let's get back on the bench top. Stand by. Okay, here we are back on the bench top. So here's what we used. An old brush. Let me zoom in a little bit more for you. An old brush. JB bore paste. Brownells has it. Croil. And then a rod. And then some proper fitting patches. You want your jag for the correct diameter. A good rod. Keep your rod clean. And then brushes. You could use nylon or copper, whatever you like, but keep them clean. And any, solvent. I like Butch's to start. And then I like this because it will attack copper. And it's a gel. I like gels. They tend to stay in contact with the barrel a little bit longer. And it says right on here, removes copper, lead, and powder residues. Removes rust without harming gun blue. Leaves a chemically clear bore in minutes. I don't know if it's available anymore. I got it years ago, but I like it. I got a couple tubes and I will cherish it. So there we go. Let's do one more thing, which I can't show you because YouTube won't allow it. But I'm going to pull this base off, clean these holes, clean everything up, and put the base back on to make sure that it's on properly. If I find it tight when I take it off, I'll tell you when I come back, which means it probably wasn't the issue, but we'll see. Maybe I've got poor contact in there. Who knows? Let's see what I get it apart. Unfortunately, I can't show you, so I'll come back when I'm done. So stand by. All right, the base is good. It was on with red Loctite, so I know it was good. Cleaned it all up. Put it back on with more red Loctite, so it's good to go. Let's check at the receiver here a little bit. What I've got here is I've just cocked the gun and then fired it and held the trigger back. We're looking at pin protrusion, and it appears to have very good pin protrusion. It didn't have any problem that he told me about with ignition, so I didn't expect to be a problem there, but I figured we would check it, and it does look pretty good. If anything, it looks a little bit long, which is okay. And it retracts, just I let go of the trigger. Okay, your latch is in here. Your latch moving there? You're going to be tempted to oil it. Do not oil it. Do not oil the latch. You can clean it. Get your finger underneath it and wipe it off. You want it dry. It wants to be dry and clean. If you lube that latch, you will get some bounce from recoil and your gun could pop open. So if you find an H&R that's popping open, first thing you want to do is check your latch and make sure that it's dry. And that goes for your barrel as well. Let's get the barrel out of the vise. Take a look at the other side of the latch. Get this all wiped off. This is a dry rag. I had an oily rag at first. And here's the other side of your latch. Right here. And this is where that latch that's in your gun swings over and engages this. Like that. And you can see that we've got a sharper latch, and it doesn't have a whole lot of engagement. And I saw that looking at the height of the button here. So we'll put the barrel back on, and you can see how much movement you have here. And I can tell it's not engaged a lot. It's enough, but I like to see a tiny bit more. But that shouldn't, it could be part of accuracy problems, because what happens is, like I said, you get that bounce under recoil, and it can cause the barrel to jump around as fast or before the bullet leaves the barrel, causing movement. So that's what can cause inaccuracies with these H&Rs. The barrel doesn't actually stay latched. You can't feel it, you can't see it, but it actually is that quick because the recoil is that quick that it can actually unlatch and relatch and unlatch and relatch, and that sends different vibrations in the barrel that, aside from what you get from firing. And one other thing I see, there is no O-ring or anything on here. So I've got a couple of O-rings. We'll throw a couple of O-rings on there and see if we can get this to float just a little bit off the barrel. It's got a nice fit on here, so it may or may not do anything for us, but it's another trick that you can do with H&Rs to gain some accuracy. So we're going to do that as well. So let me first look at this latch engagement and see what we've got here. The front of the barrel looks nice and evenly polished. Everything looks really good here. So I'm just going to touch this and just get a whisker more engagement. I just want to see just a little bit more than that. That's a little more than I like to see. I'd like to see that just a few thousandths more, and you can see it on here on the barrel what we've got. It's only just a double thick thumbnails bite And we've got a lot of shelf. Now we won't use that whole shelf. It's kind of deceiving. That latch won't go all the way to the front, but it'll go about half or a little more than half. So, you know, a little more than half, probably 2/3. So we've got about a quarter of the bite right now of what's there. So it's acceptable. I just like to see a little bit more. And here's the extractor cam on these. Works off the position of this inside the receiver. So when you open it up, it cams open and close to eject your shells. That's how that works. It just cams off the side of the receiver and it pushes your extractor out. All right, so let me just touch this, polish this up just a little bit, see if I can get just a whisker more engagement, and then we're pretty much ready to throw a scope on this and take it to the range. We'll see what we get. Hopefully we've done something. You know, that muzzle did have some burrs in it, and we've eliminated that. And we know that barrel was wicked dirty, and we got rid of that. So hopefully we did something. It doesn't take a whole lot, but basically all I did was just polish up in there, up under there in that latch, and let's see if we get we can notice any difference. Yes, look at there. You can feel the difference. It's got more of a bite. It's still got movement, but we've probably taken about 10% more. And you don't want to go too much. You don't want to be all the way at the top. It's kind of like your clutch pedal. If you remember driving a standard shift car, you know, you want to have a little bit so that you get a good bite. So we're going to leave that. We've made it better. We've changed it. So we're going to leave that. And let me get a couple of O-rings on here, and then we'll put this fore-end back on and mount up a scope. And there we go. Just a Bushnell Banner 2, 4 to 12. Going to work out good. Don't need a lot of scope. I had to use these millet rings. I like them a lot, but I like to save them because they have a windage built into them. You can adjust the scope side to side with these rings. And I like to save them in case I ever need them for a purpose, but it's okay because they're not going to stay on here. This is just a test. And you got to use certain high rings because the handies they have a high hammer and it hits things. So you got to have the right clearance. So this is going to work. I bore sighted it, ready to go, get it out on the range. We'll see what we find. That's it. God bless everybody. CW out.